Hi, professional writers. Welcome to Wednesday, May 24th. We're going to talk today about tone, and we're going to talk about letters, and specifically how to write a complaint letter. This will be split into two videos where I review quickly what to include in emails and tone, and then in another video about letters and complaint letters. Okay, let's get started. All right. So starting off, make sure, this is just review, to include in your emails a subject that is meaningful, that is more than one word, a salutation or a proper greeting, standard correct spelling and punctuation, clear short paragraphs, and no jokes. Okay, so that's just a reminder of things to include in your email that is sending out a request to hire someone from Nichols College to the Career and Professional Development Center at Nichols. When you organize your email, I want you to bluff, and this means put the bottom line up front. It doesn't mean lie. It means put the bottom line up front. State why you are emailing immediately. Don't do a whole lot of pussyfooting around, okay? State the qualifications you desire from your applicants and any additional traits you'd like. And if there's room, you can include a short blurb about your company, but the reader probably doesn't care about that as much as they care about what you're requiring and the due date and stuff like that. Make sure to include a complimentary close. And then after that, your first name or your nickname. And then after that, your digital kind of business card, all right, with your full name, position, company, and contact information. In both letters and email, do single-spaced, don't do double-spaced. Avoid any indents or tabs. Put 2 spaces between paragraphs. That means you end your paragraph and you hit return or enter twice. Keep the purpose of your email or your letter at the very beginning. State why you're emailing or writing right away. The body is for the expansion of the details, and that's like after your introductory sentence or paragraph. The body is to expand the details, and you should request action in your closing. Whether that's the complaint letter, you request action from them, or in the email, you request submissions by a certain date. Okay? All right, so that's letter and email formatting and organization. Let's talk about tone. Tone in business writing. And you'll notice from the last slide, these are going to be dad jokes and terrible puns to keep things a little light. All right, so most business writing has a confident tone. You want to be convey to your reader that you are confident and assured and informed. You want to make sure all your sentences are clear. Also, you want to be efficient. This comes along with the conciseness that we talked about in the last day's videos and in the emails. You want to be equally concise in letters and in all your business writing. And oftentimes, your level of formality in business writing will depend on who you're writing to and for what purpose. So email is a little bit more informal, even though this is a formal email you're writing. Letters are much more formal. Memos are somewhere in between. Okay. Make sure also you are courteous and sincere in both letters, emails, memos, anything. Make sure you use non-discriminatory language. And so instead of saying something like mailman, you want to say mail carrier. Okay, that's non-discriminatory language. Instead of saying policeman, police officer. Stress the benefits for your reader always. In the email, in the letters, even in the complaint letter, you want to stress the benefit of your reader for why they should do what you want them to do. This is about being persuasive. In business writing, you want to persuade your reader to think the way you do, to do what you want them to do, etc. Make sure you don't write too difficult. Make sure you don't use too fancy words. Make sure to keep your sentences simple and direct. but also don't write assuming someone's an idiot, okay? So you're kind of going for that middle ground between, you're not writing to a professor, you're writing to a normal everyday person, but a person with a brain. Make sure you always put the important information first where the reader expects it. There are exceptions to this rule, which we'll talk about next week, but generally, this is what you want to do. Put the important information first. When you're getting ready and you're thinking about pre-writing your letter, your complaint letter, consider the so what. What do you want? Do you just want to complain? Because that's not going to get you very much, all right? So you want to have an idea of what you want. Do you want them to give you a refund? Do you want them to fix something? Do you want an apology? Something like that. Why? Like, how can you persuade them to do this? How can you achieve your purpose? Give details. Remember, details are very important in professional writing. And here's how to achieve your purpose. You want to think specifically about your voice. This should be, it depends on what you're writing. Don't try to change your voice. Let your voice come through, because that makes it distinct and it makes it yours. Think about your tone. Do you want to be formal, and do you want to be distant? Do you want to be friendly? And how your tone is going to help you achieve your purpose. Finally, think about how you can convey to your reader that you're responsible and you've done your homework and you know what you're talking about. Think about whether you want to make an emotional appeal, and think about your reasoning, okay? And this is using ethos, showing that you're responsible, pathos, making an emotional appeal, and logos, which is your logical argumentation or your reasoning, okay? So this is how to achieve your purpose in all your business writing. Try to get the correct tone by thinking about these things: voice, ethos, pathos, logos, all that good stuff. All right, we're going to continue on, because I have some time, and talk about letters in general. Okay, what do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. Ha ha ha. All right, so letters are the most common form of correspondence for businesses. They're more common than emails, and they're more common than memos, which is why we're writing 3 of them. We're going to get a lot of practice writing good letters. They are the most official form of writing that you'll do. So memos are less formal, and so are emails, and so are some other things. They're the most secure and confidential form of correspondence because they're not sent willy-nilly over the web, and they're not distributed in a break room. They're only distributed by the post office, and it's illegal to open someone else's mail. And so you know that the person, you can pretty much guarantee that the person you're sending it to is the person who's going to get it and who's going to read it. Why should you send letters? Well, letters are an excellent way to represent your company, to show that it's professional, to show that it knows what it's doing, to show that it's a real company. They're also really good official legal records if you ever get yourself into trouble, and this is going to be true of the complaint letters and how we respond to the complaint letters. It's good in these cases to keep an official legal record just in case someone decides to sue you. Often letters are read by and approved by multiple people before they're sent out, and so you can usually be confident that they have great grammar and that they are achieving the right tone and stuff like that because multiple pairs of eyes have helped you. They're used the most in international business for contracts and other important documents, okay? So this is why letters are so important. This is all the uses of letters. All right, when you're putting together your letters, use Ms, that's MS period, rather than Miss or Mrs, unless you're told otherwise. This is just a bit of politeness that you're not assuming that someone's married or unmarried. You're not making assumptions based on age or anything like that. So just use Ms. It's nice and neutral, just like Mr. Use cordially or best wishes only if you know the person well. In more formal letters, you want to stick with the more conventional forms of signing off, which is, sincerely. Also avoid "to whom it may concern." You really want to get the name of the person that you're sending the letter to. Okay, and this is true of complaint letters that we'll be writing too. Like, you don't want to send it "to whom it may concern." You really want to find out who is the person in charge and send it to that person. For the purposes of our letters, you're going to make up a person, but in most complaint letters, you want to send it to the right person. If it's from your whole company, and so this might be a response to the complaint letter, basically you say "sincerely," and then you put double space and you put your company name in all caps, and then in the 4 spaces below that is where you include your signature and then your name underneath that. Okay. Try not to make any paragraph in your letter more than 7 lines, because that's too long. Try to keep most of your letters to 1 page. That's a good length. Okay. In your letters, even your complaint letters, I want you to achieve the you attitude. This means putting yourself in the reader's position, writing with the reader's concerns and thoughts and priorities in mind, okay? You want to make it so, like, when you're writing your complaint letter, imagine receiving this complaint letter. Would it make you angry? Would it offend you? If so, you want to change your tone, okay? Make sure it's courteous and well-informed and professional, even when complaining. And you want to convey a real positive image of yourself to your readers, okay? Not that you're hysterical or have anger issues or anything like that. You want it to be like that you're practicing good ethos, pathos, and logos, right? That you're a responsible person, that you did your due diligence, and that you have a good reason to be writing, okay? Make sure that you convey respect for your readers and their concerns and their questions and their comments. And so you want to anticipate any questions that your reader might have after reading your letter and answer them in the letter, okay? Remember, it's the reader's needs that control the tone and the message and the organization of letters, of emails, of memos, of whatever you're writing in business, okay? Make sure that you think especially of the audience, okay? Because they determine all these things. Also, avoid stressing in your letters what your company has done. Most people don't care what your company has done. Instead, what are you going to do to address their concerns? Okay. Finally, you want to make sure to include courteous language and avoid discourteous language. Here are some examples of discourteous language that you want to avoid. So something like, "We must discontinue your service unless payment is received by date shown." So this is not very courteous because it's kind of a threat. So you want to say something more positive, like, "In order to maintain continuous service, please get us, the payment by the date shown." It's more about the reader. In order for the reader to avoid inconvenience, this is what they should do. "You are extremely mistaken about the contract." Again, this is more of an accusation. It's basically calling someone dumb, and so you don't want to include this. Instead, you want to say something like, "There must have been some miscommunication," which is nice because it doesn't imply anyone is at fault. It's just, it happens. Miscommunication happens. "The new iPad you sold me is defective, even though I paid full price and it's brand new." So you don't want to say something is defective. You just want to state clearly the details of the problem you're having with it, instead of making just a kind of accusation about something being defective. "It goes without saying that your suggestion is not worth considering." So, I don't know if there's any good way to say this. Try not to say stuff like this, which is basically, "You're not important." And this is one that I actually received last fall. In an email, "We neither want nor need the new committee that you have suggested. Avoid this kind of stuff." Okay, to be continued.